right, welcome Biggity back, ladies and jiggity gentlemen, to the Jiggity GSL. I am Moletrap, with me is Kaldor, and we are kicking it here in Seoul, Korea, in the Mokdong Studios at I forgot the name of the high school. We're actually based in high school, by the way. The studio is actually in the base floor, the first floor of a school, actually the second floor of a school. I think it's... I forgot the name of it.
Don't look at me. I have no idea.
I think it's Hwasong or something like that. It's Hwasong High School. I'll look it up.
It could
it's not
be
Hwasong.
I don't know.
But anyway, we're having a lot of fun here today. We've got some excellent games going on. We've had some really good stuff happen so far. We have a couple crushing defeats. We had some pretty close PvP earlier on, and I think this next series is actually going to be really good, really close. It's probably going to be the closest series we've had thus far. We've got Slayers Brown versus I Am Lucira.
And Lucira is in a lot of trouble because Brown's record against Zerg is excellent. He never lost a competitive game against Zerg. He
100% win rate.
100% win rate. He won all 2 games.
Yeah, only 2 games. Those were the 2 games that we saw him play against Superstar, a.k.a. Max, in the first round of Code A this season. And he looked very, very strong. I was actually talking to Sella about those games. I since we haven't seen much about Brown, I watched those games earlier to kind of get a feel for it, and I was asking Sella about it. I'm like, he looks like he's mostly a macro player, and Sella's like, yeah, he likes to macro, and he's an all-around macro player, and that's basically what he did. He went Forge Expand, barely got any units until he had full saturation, and then he started making a ton of stuff off like 2 and then 3 bases, and that's kind of how he played against Superstar. So probably how we're going to see him play here today again. But you know what? Even though Lucira is the much bigger name, he's been in the finals, he's killed a lot of strong Protosses in the past. Sella told me that Brown basically doesn't lose to Zergs on the ladder, so he's going to have a strong opponent here.
Brown is a little bit like Parting. He's also one of the players that we don't have all that much data about. That's a small joke with a 100% record against Zerg, basically, is because he only played 2 games against Zerg. So that's all we have got on him. But Lucira is also quite strong against Protoss. He has 77% win ratio. He played 43 games, won 33 of them. And the last 3 games against Protoss were at the KSL against Sage and Sun. He won both of them in a best of 1. And at the Code A, he took out Alicia with 2-1 as well. Just joining the lobby right now. The first map, by the way, will be Daybreak today. So,
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be, that's what I was thinking. I think it's going to be close because both these guys are really, really strong. So we're probably going to see some really high-level play. Both players can be very macro-oriented. Lucira likes to throw in the Roachling attacks and stuff as well, so it might mix it up a little bit. There's Slayers Brown, the Protoss player.
How old is that guy?
How old is he?
I mean, I know with Asians it's always a little bit deceiving, but still, he looks really young.
Well, he may be very young. I'm not sure. I'm going to check right now. He is... I have no idea. It's not listed on TLPD. Sorry.
We definitely have to ask.
He doesn't look that young. He's probably like 18 or something, I would guess.
The first time someone told me how old Oz is, I was really baffled because from the looks I was like, okay, Oz is probably like 17, 18, something like that.
Why, how old is he?
Oz is actually 22.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. I would have thought maybe like 20, 19 or 20, right?
I was really, really surprised. I mean, the guys from FXO are good fun anyways. Apparently now I'm Shoya's big uncle. He always calls me big uncle now. I have no idea. Well, in Korea, it was really weird. After Linux against Jakchi, we went eating with the FXO guys, and at some point, Choya was asking how old I am. So I told him, and he was like, "Okay, can I call you when I have trouble? Will you protect me? Will you beat up someone for me?" I was like, "Yeah, well, we can go for that." And so I was like, "Oh, you good, you big uncle now, you big uncle." And from that point on, he just continued to call me big uncle. And
that's funny.
Yeah, his next question was actually if I'm married, because in Korea it's a huge deal if you're not married by 30.
Really?
Yeah, it's apparently a really big thing. I was also told by friends that if I meet a girl, I should lie to her. I should not tell her that I'm 30 because it's so weird, and she would think that I would look for someone to marry. It's really weird when you come from Europe, probably the same with the US.
I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was a really weird thing. So now I'm telling everyone, yeah, I'm 27.
Here we can see Lucira just beat Alicia, another Protoss, another Slayer's Protoss, actually in the last round.
3-1.
I think Brown, from what I heard, you know, we haven't seen a lot out of Brown as much as we have from Alicia, but from what I understand, I think Brown is probably a little bit stronger than Alicia in his PVZ. So we're going to see. By the way, a little tidbit of information. Both of the Zerg players that we've had today played Terran in Brood War.
Is that so?
Cezanne and Lucira both played Terran in Brood War. Yeah, Lucira actually used to go by Thunder Foyu. And now he's playing Zerg in Starcraft 2. Just an interesting little thing. Lucira also used to play the piano for many years. That's how he has such good finger dexterity. And now that I've baffled Kaldor into silence,
I was like, what?
We're going to go ahead and get the game started. Game number 1 on Daybreak is about to begin. Slayers Brown versus I Am Lucira. Which of these incredibly strong players is going to make it into Kodas next season? We're about to find out. All right. Thanks, of course, to Razer, G-Skill, Sony Ericsson, Pepsi, and all of you, the viewers at home. And thanks again to this player who has the wrong color because he's playing the red, but he's actually
Slayers Brown.
If he would join IM, that would be kind of a racist nickname. Could be.
Guess.
That would be really, really weird. And yeah, some science. Awesome. We've seen so many signs of the Code S final, but now we have the opponent of Brown at the top right of Daybreak. We have
I'm Lucira.
I just like that voice.
His name is Lucira, but he's trying to be Win-Cira today. Or Win-Ira. Instead of Lose-Ira. That was a stretch. I'm sorry. Hey, you know, you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet. You gotta try for all the jokes in order to get the good ones.
Oh
Anyway,
sorry.
what's going on?
No, nothing's going on. I'm
Okay.
sometimes a little bit thrown off by the fact that the game started a little bit sooner for us before they actually jump into the game. So when I just looked at the screen in the production tab, I saw the pool about to finish, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's going for a 7 pool." And then I realized that the game is already 2 minutes and 30 seconds old. It's just a standard 14 pool.
I do that sometimes too.
Sometimes that just throws me off because usually when we cast, we start with the game from the first second. So if you see something like that, you're like, basically, oh god, my timing is wrong.
I've done that before as well. The funniest one is when, oh, and he's actually going for a cannon before his Nexus. That's actually a little puzzling because usually you see them go for the Nexus first to try and get that out as soon as possible. I actually didn't see when that pool was made, but anyway. So yeah, sometimes like they'll get an expansion and then they'll send a bunch of SCVs down to their new expansion. And there have been a couple times when I flipped out and gone, oh my god, he's going all in! And I'm like, oh no, he's actually just transferring SCVs to his new base. Never mind, it's fine, it's fine.
The Lynx is trying to get in now, and oh, I would like to see that wall in again. Yep, he's blocking it with a probe. There's only one probe, the cannon is about to finish, and that worked out very, very well. You already mentioned that Salah told you that Brown is a player that tries to go into the macro game, into the end game, and the thing is, he probably experiences a lot of cheese in the ladder, especially with early links, so he knows exactly from the timings when to put down the cannon and everything. That probe was just in place to make sure that the links won't be able to get it through the wall in, and at the same time the cannon was about to finish, so even if Lucira decided to attack, he would have lost 3 links and get no scouting information whatsoever. That worked out really well by Brown.
Now look at this, the probe is going to get out. He's going to try and get an extra scout off to see what he can find out about Lucira, and this is critical. Looking for that pylon, and also that'd be good if he could send that Ling over to that probe, because that probe is also going to be trying to find out if Lucira's putting down a third base or not, because that is super important to find out. If he puts down the third base, Brown can relax. He can pour himself a drink. He can sit back in his easy chair, and he can know that he's safe from any kind of early roachling pressure, which is something that Lucira is wont to do.
Third base coming up.
Oh! Goes down. And I don't think he saw that drone going to the third base, so he has no idea that Lucira has gotten that third base. So he might be a little bit worried right now. Might want to play a little bit more defensively. But yeah, Brown in both of his games against Superstar, just Forge expanded into macro. Usually gateway heavy.
Stargate follow-up for Brown. He's getting that Stargate on the high ground.
Interesting.
And he needs to fly that over to the third base if he wants to apply some pressure, because on the second base he won't be able to kill anything. He already connected both bases with creep, so as soon as the Void Ray appears, he will be able to pull the second queen down to the expansion and then just defend with 2 or 3 queens. Should probably get a third one.
Yeah, and this is actually what he did against one of his games against Superstar, just going for the quick Void Ray and a couple Phoenixes to follow up, just to put on some pressure, not like a killing blow, not like an all-in with a lot of gateway units, because notice he still has only the one warp gate. So he's not going to go for a massive attack here. He's just going to put on some pressure while he gets his tech going and gets his macro going, and probably even going to try and take a third base at some point, if possible, because like I said, he really wants to play the macro game.
That Void Ray is already done. He's about to kill the Overlord. It's rallied right towards the Overlord so that he can take that one out, and by then Lucira will be aware of what's happening, but he won't be all too surprised by that. He already has the Evolution Chamber in order to throw down Spore Crawlers. He's fine. Getting the Roach Warrior now at the 7:30-minute mark, and the third base is saturated as well. 52 drones against 42. The Overlord about to bite the dust.
It is going to bite the dust indeed. It's actually going to explode into space dust. Where does that Overlord go? Just falls into oblivion there. Now some more gateways coming up. He's going to start switching up into this macro mode. And again, kind of like I was saying, Brown, almost a greedy player, gutting all of this stuff off just 1 sentry and 1 cannon, and now getting a couple extra sentries. Getting that Phoenix out to try and do a little scouting as well.
The thing is, if you kick back as a Protoss player, then you are in a really horrible position later on, because you allow the Zerg to drone up like crazy. He gets that advantage in economy and will just punish you for it. Brown will have to take that third base at some point, and if Lucira is able to deny that or just prevent that for a while, he is in a decent position. We just now have the +1 attack upgrade being researched for Brown, which is very, very late. He went for the Stargate attack. Is now trying to put some damage onto the Harvesters of Lucira, but, well, Lucira is just too strong for that. Too experienced.
Yeah, and Lucira is playing this really smart. Like you said, he's just been droning up. He actually just recently got his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gases. Before that, he only had 1 gas. He was just getting tons of drones. Now he gets some roaches out. Very smart play to get those roaches out just about the time that a few Zealots would arrive, and there they are. The Zealots getting met by those roaches. Perfect play.
There was already a Spore Crawler and Spine Crawler as well. Even the Ts wouldn't have changed a thing. The Void Ray will be able to deal some damage to the roaches, but they already retreat. 1 liftoff. That's well done. That Roach will not live to fight another day. But at the same time, we have the third base, and oh, that Queen with a little bit of a problem. Now taking out that tumor first. The Queen will probably live though.
And he's coming in with another Queen though. That's going to force things back. I like how he took the moment to get that creep tumor. Very smart to pick off the tumor. It's a really quick kill win for a charged up Void Ray.
He's transitioning into Colossus right now, and Lucira is on 111 supply. He has 77 drones on 3 bases against 60. And, well, I don't know, getting the roach speed, getting Pathogen Glands, Infestation Pit is done, and he can start to put some pressure onto Brown, and will probably get a 4th base fairly soon as well. Getting the Spire, that's the 4th base at the bottom right, and taking getting the Spire and more upgrades. Already getting the upgrade for the Overlord, speed upgrade, and taking a macro hatch as well. So Lucira just investing a lot of minerals right now so that he has enough lava, the possibility to get another base.
Oh!
That Zergling, yeah, that's 2 or 3 Zerglings dying right there, not just such a big deal. And he's trying to run by, but 2 cannons are ready.
He almost caught all the Zerglings. Now he will catch most of the Zerglings. Beautiful play there by Brown, taking those Zerglings out. Is he going to lose a probe? He loses one probe. He's going to lose. Nope. Not going to lose any other probe. Oh, he does get another probe. Nicely done. But that is part of the strategy of sending out those Void Rays. Is he cleared out all those Overlords. There was no Overlords to run in and take a peek at what tech he's going. So he's going for these Infestors. He doesn't have a Spire. Okay, now he almost has a Spire, actually, but he didn't get a Spire earlier. And he's not really going to have anything for these Colossus too early.
I really don't like what Brown is doing right now. Lucira will be on 4 bases. He has 5 hatcheries already. He's getting the Hive Tech. He's getting a massive amount of upgrades. He's getting Infestors. And he will be able, if Brown isn't putting pressure on the Zerg player, he will just be able to get those Broodlords, get the Infestors as well, and a bunch of Roaches at the back. He's already now throwing down a lot of Spine Crawlers. And that's something that Brown doesn't want to encounter. That's a really, really strong unit composition. And if you have to face that as a Protoss player, you have to micro perfectly in the fights if you want to take out those Broodlords. So being in a situation like that, that's something Brown doesn't want. He needs to do some early pressure to Lucira, and right now he gives the Zerg player all the time he needs in order to prepare for that army composition.
Can you check to see if he saw that Twilight Council? I'm curious if he saw that or not.
Yep, just a tiny second.
And yeah, he did see the Twilight Council as well. Okay, so yeah. So Lucira definitely knows exactly what's going on with Brown's strategy here. He saw the robotics support bait as well. So he definitely knows what's going on. And Brown trying to take a 4th base here. Again, just keeping his macro going. Lucira making 13 more drones in his Greater Spire right now, making some Corruptors as well. So yeah, Brown, you know what? He's like, all right, I'm just going to sit back and macro. But Lucira's like, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and macro also. What you going to do about it? And he's going to have some really scary tech when Brown finally attacks.
Lucira is just occupying his opponent, and Brown walking onto creep with that small force is actually, well, that's... I don't know, that's a little bit optimistic. If he continues too far, he will be caught out of position. Oh, those force fields just in time.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, and he targets the Colossus on the units trapped in those force fields, so he kills them all with a few swipes, and this Void Ray over here is doing some major damage in the meantime. Corruptor does finally finish that off. But, yeah, I mean, this it's like they both said, all right, no rush 15. You know, let's get straight to the late game and not bother with this early game business.
Lucira is going for that army composition that I just mentioned. He's about to finish his Greater Spire. He already has the Corruptor, and he's building too many drones right now. He's on a 92 already, 91, now starting to get more Spine Crawlers on the map, so that he's in a very good position to defend against pushes like that. Six Broodlords. There are the Fungals. Nice dodging the force fields. Lucira is just playing very, very well right now, and Brown with 180 supply on 4 bases. He will have his work cut out for him. Oh, nice. Another Fungal would kill all of the Stalkers.
Wow.
Beautiful. So
beautifully done. He did not let those go. He kept falling back behind those row of morphing Spine Crawlers, and then running forward, getting a Fungal off, running back, running forward, getting Fungal off. Perfect timing on that.
Lucira is ready. Lucira has the Broodlords, he has the Infestors, and now Brown will have to show us his micro or he will lose that fight.
And I don't know what he can do actually here. He's fungling those Stalkers so well that they cannot blink away. The Broodlord's doing some major damage as well. And here's the thing is, you know, ideally, what people do to deal with the Broodlords is they get Blink Stalkers and they blink right underneath the Broodlords and kill and snipe them. But if the Broodlords are sitting on top of Zerglings and Infestors, then blinking underneath them is suicide. So Lucira continues to creep across the middle of the map with these Spine Crawlers.
What Lucira is doing right now, he starts to build more and more Spine Crawlers in order to free up supply. He is on 85 drones right now. He was on 95 a few minutes ago. So he's freeing up a little bit of supply so that he can get more army supply. He's getting a 2nd Spire for the double upgrades. He's already researching +3 upgrade for Lings and Broodlords. And that, oh, Mothership. Mothership now 4 round.
Wow.
That might help him a bit. That might help him a bit with the Vortex. He needs to get a really good Vortex.
That would be beautiful.
Warp Prism that we just saw didn't do any damage at all. Lucira on top of his game right now. But yeah, the Vortex would be really, really nice. And that might be one thing that he can do in order to deal with the Lucira's army composition. But still, 4 bases at again against 5, and I don't know.
I like how Lucira, he knows that Warp Prism is on the map, so he's actually getting a couple Spine Crawlers in his main as well. And oh, he sees the Fleet Beacon!
Nice.
He sees the Fleet Beacon. He may consider twice morphing all of those Corruptors into Broodlords. He may save a couple as Corruptors in order to have that anti-air.
Lucira actually sacrificed his base, is running past the opponent's army with the Zerglings, but now he... Oh! If those Stalkers blink, he will be in a lot of trouble, but they don't, and the Fungals are going off. The Zerglings streaming in, trying to fungal his opponent's Colossus as well. Look at that, Brown is losing everything. He will lose his entire army. All the Colossi are dying.
Beautiful Fungals. Oh my gosh. Usually Lings are suicide if they attack Colossus, but all they did was buy enough time for 4 or 5 Fungals to go down on everything. Everything gets fungaled, and Lucira comes out ahead, but there is a Mothership in play now, and it is just biding its time until it has enough energy for some super spell. Here comes a Warp Prism coming in the back. For a second I thought we were watching a replay at 2x speed because it has the speed upgrade. It's going to warp in a couple Stalkers. Nice choice before... Oh no, the Stalkers get canceled. Lucira is on top of this man.
Yeah, he already has 10 Broodlords. He's getting the armor upgrade for his flies, getting the +2 attack upgrade, is rebuilding his base, maxed out 170 for Brown.
Wow, this is ridiculous. Brown now taking his 5th base and getting that saturated up right now. Lucira is still also on 5 bases. And this is a situation where, you know, the Zerg wants to be ahead on bases, but if you can get it straight to this late game, and if Brown can hold out and split the map, he's going to have a little bit of advantage with a split map scenario.
Another attempt with a Warp Prism, but there are already Spine Crawlers, and Lucira is now going for that base. He's going for the base at the bottom. He's going to take that out. The Broodlords are in the position to do that. And the Dark Shrine for Brown, he wants to get sneaky now, and he really needs to. I mentioned it before, Brown is just playing a bit weird, but on the other hand, if he's able to take out Lucira's units once, then he might get back into that game. But Lucira is on top of this. He's always funneling at the right moment in time. He's funneling like crazy, and that Mothership with 8 investors on the field, that Mothership has a slight problem because Fungal obviously detects cloaked units as well. He needs to somehow use his Vortex in order to split armies. That would give him an edge over his opponent, but Lucira is just playing perfect right now.
Yep, he does have the Templar Archives out. He's got an Archon on the field. He's getting the Dark Shrine down. Going to try and do some DT harassment, which I don't think will do much good. I believe Lucira has spores at all of his bases right now. But Lucira is just playing beautifully. He's got all these high-tech units, and he's not losing them. He hasn't been losing his Broodlords. He hasn't been losing many Infestors. He has a bunch of Corruptors on the map now as well. Even though it's just disgusting.
Even though the match worked really like Lucira 182 with getting his army composition and everything, he was smart enough to just crawl up in his main bases, go for the Spore Crawlers as well, so that he doesn't get surprised by any drop play. And now there's once again Brown just poking in. But Lucira has so many Spine Crawlers. He's really keeping his minerals low. He's always trying to get more Spine Crawlers and defending in his base. Look at that. Everywhere. There are everywhere enough Spine Crawlers to deal with that. He's fungling as well. This is just so well done.
The DTs to make sure they cannot escape the range of the Spine Crawlers. Look at this. Run, run, run! And it does survive. Look at all those Broodlings. That DT got attacked by 15 Broodlings. And those are 3/3 Broodlings, by the way.
Yeah, he's getting more and more upgrades for his air units as well. The +2 armor, the +3 attack, getting more Spine Crawlers now. And he's still on 200 supply, has enough minerals. He has like 2,000 and 1,000 gas. Lucira is just playing so well. And he's not overextending. He's not just trying to go for an attack like, okay, I have to attack now. He's playing it patient. That's exactly what you need to do.
Double Spire upgrades. Lucira is so maxed that he's like, I'm right. I'm just going to get all the upgrades. Upgrade all the things, he says. And, man, this is like, I was talking to Sella, and Sella said he thought it was going to be long games because they're both macro players. And, a storm goes, a couple storms try to catch those Corruptors, but did not pull it off. But this looks like what you would see at, like, minute 40. But it's minute 25. It's, they had the latest game highest tech maxed armies at, like, minute 19. this has been ridiculous.
The only thing that I can think of that would win Brown the game is like if he's able to either get off a beautiful vortex, or if he's able to take out the infestors with feedback. That's the only thing that I can think of right now that will decide the game in Brown's favor, because Lucira has like 70 Corruptors. He will take out the Mothership and the Colossi so super fast, and he has 18 Broodlords.
Yeah,
if
that's
those
disgusting.
8 Infestors are able to get their fungals off, I don't know how Brown is supposed to win that game.
Now the Templar might have a different story to tell, because if he can get off some good feedbacks and storms,
exactly,
that is the thing that could possibly save him. Look at this, Brown knows that his army is inferior, sacrificing some probes so that he can add on some carriers. What?
Double Stargate coming up. But now, is that the point in time where Lucira is going to attack? He needs to be careful with...
Oh, the Templar right there. He needs to get... Preemptive storm. Lucira dodges the storm. He's going to take out this base again.
Look at those Broodlords. Oh my god. And the fungal on the Mothership and everything. Where's the Vortex? And he needs to move into the Vortex. Beautiful. He's moving in. The storms hit him. And this is going to be an exciting moment in that game. Once again, fumbling the army. And here we go.
Archon toilet. Everything popping to the splash damage.
Lucira.
The Archons kill everything. The Archons kill everything.
He's able to get that vortex.
Roll over him.
He's able to get that vortex that he needed. That was the one thing that could kill Lucira, and he's able to pull it off. His army supply dropped in the blink of an eye, like with 100, down to 100. Oh my god. And Brown, now with all of his Stalkers remaining and those Colossi, rolls over the Spine Crawler defenses. The Broodlords are under attack while they're morphing. That's his last-dish defense, is those last few Broodlords. Only one gets out. Brown with a beautiful Vortex may have clinched the game. Don't count Lucira out just yet. He's on 160 supply. He's getting off the fungals. He still has the resources to build more units.
But the carrier's on the way.
The loss of the morphing Broodlords was a huge deal, but now he might be able to get back into the game. He's able to get more fungals off. That would be pretty damn good in that situation. Are the Broodlords going to morph? GG, they are not.
Storms and feedbacks finally forced Lucira out of the game, and Slayer's Brown takes a sip of water like it was nothing.
Wow. Sella.
I love this game.
And Lucira is like, what the hell was I supposed to do against that? And
well, you know what he was supposed to do is not throw every single one of his units into the Vortex.
The thing is that for Lucira, it was really like he played so well. He had the patience, he got the upgrades, he had the army that he needed, and I mentioned that in the game. The only things that could kill him was either if Lucira would lose all the infestors, so he couldn't get the fungals, or if he would place down the perfect Vortex, and he did that. As soon as the Corruptors went in for the kill for the Mothership, he actually clustered them up. He could try to attack from two sides with the he had so many Corruptors, he could try to attack from two sides.
No, you're right.
But as soon as the Corruptors went in for the kill, the Vortex came, and he moved in with the Broodlords as well. As soon as he saw that, he just spent all his Archons, threw them in the, and the Archons just raped him.
Here's the thing, is... You're right, the Corruptors came in to get the Mothership. Boom! Vortexes them. Perfect move. Lucira sees this happen. Alright, so Brown, what does he do? He throws his Archons in the Vortex. What does Lucira do? He throws 15 Broodlords into the Vortex. Why? Why did he do that? I mean, the thing is... Sometimes they use a Vortex to split the army, and you throw all your units in the Vortex so they all come out at once, so they're not just fighting half the army and then the other half. But if you see the 3 Archons go in there, you don't throw all your Broodlords in that Vortex.
One thing that was quite important as well, though, was, I mean, he dropped with like 100 supply in that situation. But he had enough lava, and he had the resources to come back. But with Brown attacking, and Brown actually scouted for those Broodlords, for those morphing Broodlords. Lucira tried to morph 6 of them. All of them were killed
that's a good point.
while morphing. And after that, Lucira tried the same thing again, but Brown was there in order to prevent those Broodlords from coming back into that game. And that ended the game for Lucira entirely. He was already behind at that point, but he prepared like kind of for something like that, but Brown was just relentless. He attacked straight away. He knew now's my chance, and now, and that's what he did.
No, you're exactly correct. If he had, because he had a couple infestors still, he had some other stuff coming. He had a lot of units coming out. If those Broodlords had been back behind, and then when he was coming up the ramp, he could fungal the ramp and use Broodlords on the ramp, then yeah, that would have been a completely different story. Instead, he didn't have any Broodlords when Brown charged up his ramp. And, wow. As much as I would love to talk about that game all night, game number 2 is beginning. We're going to get into it and find out if Brown can close the series out.